Fact: women who listen to the Chris Top program on a regular basis gain at least 2 cup sizes.
This is the Chris Top program.
Hi, I'm Chris Top. First off, I want to thank you for tuning into the Chris Top program. While I try my best to keep the show as rated PG-13 as possible, sometimes things slip out, or sometimes things happen, and that's just the way live radio goes. And because this is the internet, the FCC isn't around to tell me what I can and can't do. So because of the occasional slip-up or the guess that might get out of hand, you really need to be 18 or older to listen. If you happen to be under 18, please make sure you get your parents' permission. Go! I decided to burn lots of calories today, so I set a fat kid on fire. Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
I am the one and only Chris Top.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program.
Broadcasting live from my lavish studio apartment.
The VCR and the DVD, there wasn't that a back in 1970. We didn't know about the World Wide Web, was a whole different game being played back when I was a kid. Wanna get down in a cool way, picture yourself on a beautiful day. Big bell bottoms and groove long hair, just walking in style with a portable MP3 play. You can listen to the music on the Chris Top program. Chris Top program, Chris Top program. You can hear the music on the Chris Top program. Chris Top program. Wanna hear the music on the Chris Top program. Chris Top program. Chris Top program. You can hear the talk in the Chris Top program.
Sunny Clarksville, Tennessee.
You can hear the talk in the Chris Top program.
This is the Chris Top program.
And I am the one and only Chris Top, broadcasting live from my lavish studio apartment here in sunny Clarksville, Tennessee, with an ocean view. So it's Friday, and here I am doing a show. Shouldn't I be at the movies or something? Shouldn't I be out on a Friday night? I mean, I just turned 42. It doesn't make me that over the hill, does it? But anyway, I mean, you're in the same boat with me. You're sitting at home listening to me, so God bless you, really, for that. I'm sorry. I do. I apologize. I've got some things to talk about today. The main theme of the show, and we'll go back to this throughout the show, is going to be food. Oh, and I like my food. Make no mistake. But if you like certain foods, you may want to just not listen to this show. And typically, I wouldn't recommend people not listen to my show, really. But this is going to be disheartening. And I'll give you some examples. Some of the worst foods that you can eat. And then we're gonna go through some of the fast foods as well. And we're gonna start with one that's really bad. And then we're gonna go all the way up to one that's like really super bad. It's like you take one bite and you could die. That's how bad it is. Those damn fast foods. But ice cream, and see, this shouldn't be a real big surprise. I mean, everybody loves ice cream. But it's not that it's only full of sugar, but then you got trans fats, you got artificial colors and flavors, and a lot of these things, they damage the brain and the nervous system. I don't need any more damage to my brain and my nervous system. If you know me, you know that. I mean, there are healthier varieties of ice cream, but most ice cream is very hazardous to your health. You know, when they put these Surgeon General warnings on cigarettes, I think we get it now. Cigarettes are bad for you, but maybe they should put it on ice cream. And did you know, right behind ice cream, and I had this tonight, and I'm thinking maybe this is why I'm feeling so sedated. I mean, it's like I was doing good. I had a pretty busy day today. Well, I'm relatively busy. I was off, and I slept in, got my hair cut, went swimming, did laundry, got all that stuff done. I'm feeling pretty good about everything. Figured, well, I'm going to do a show tonight. But first, we went and got Mexican food. And we had the tortilla chips. And we had the salsa, and we had that wonderful, that amazing cheese dip. And then some nacho fajitas. Are you hungry? Do you hate me right now? I bet you do. And I'm thinking maybe they sedated me somehow, because if I were to turn off my microphone and shut my eyes for like 2 seconds, I'd be gone. I'd be totally out of it. So that stuff's really bad for you. And I'm thinking maybe it puts you to sleep. What's that stuff in turkey that makes you sleepy? Maybe they put that in the cheese. And of course you got pizza. And not all pizza is bad for you. But most of the commercially available and frozen pizza on the market, it's full of the artificial dough conditioners. And see, I don't know what a dough conditioner is. I thought conditioner was something that chicks put in their hair. You know, I'm lucky to even use shampoo half the time. Sometimes if there's a bar of soap there, I'll grab that and wash my hair with it. But I'm getting sidetracked again. So I don't know what artificial dough conditioner is. It doesn't sound good. And then, of course, preservatives, those evil preservatives. And it's made from white flour that's been bleached and reacts in your body just like sugar. And, of course, this causes weight gain. And, you know, I could sit here and tell you all day long that pizza causes weight gain. And if you didn't know that already, you're an idiot. Okay? If you sit there and you eat a whole large pizza all by yourself, you're going to get fat. That's just the way it goes. And I think a lot of this stuff in moderation is probably okay. But we've also got French fries on the list, potato chips, and I'm so sorry. But, you know, bacon, it goes on everything. It really does. I mean, you can sit there and have a healthy baked potato all day long, but if you put a few strips of bacon on it, it's going to kill you. So I don't know. I mean, there are things that we're going to talk about today, and food is going to be the main theme of the show. And if you're hungry or if you haven't eaten yet, I apologize. Because you may want to turn this off if you're about to go to McDonald's or KFC or Taco Bell or someplace like that, because we are going to dig deep into the trans fats. You know, you've heard those stories, right, about the people who go through drive-thrus and they'll pay for their own meal, and then they'll pay for the person behind them, and it's like the pay it forward thing. Well, I came across this, and I was floored by the generosity of this guy. And these people, when they do this stuff, they're not looking to get anything, and most of the time they do it anonymously. But there's a guy in his 20s. He walked into a Canadian coffee shop. So I guess there are some good Canadians out there. It happened this week. He ordered a large double-double. I'm so far behind on my coffee because I don't know what a double-double is. I like frozen caramels. I know that. And I like coffee. But I don't know what a double-double is. It sounds like some sort of a weird sexual move or something. But he ordered a double-double and then a Boston cream donut. Now, it seemed just like a typical guy, just like anybody that you would see in this particular coffee shop. And I'm talking about Tim Hortons. I guess it's the equivalent of Starbucks in Canada. I don't know. So anyway, he is now known as the magical bestower of free caffeine. Now, the mysterious man, he placed an order, not just for the next person in line, not for the next 10 people in line, the next 50, the next 100, but he placed an order for 500 large coffees with one demand. He said, you just have to give it to the next 500 customers. Wow. Now, how much do you think 500 large coffees would cost? Now, I actually thought it would be more than this. But maybe Starbucks would have been a little bit more, so maybe he went to Tim Hortons just because he could get more bang for his buck. You know, at Starbucks, it may have been the next 100 people, but at Tim Hortons, he was able to buy the next 500 large coffees for customers for $859. That's pretty, I mean, you might walk into Starbucks and you'll spend $10 before you can blink, but $859, that's pretty big. And this is what they said at the coffee shop. They said, we were thinking maybe he was so blessed that he wanted to share this blessing, or maybe he just won the lottery or something like that. So who knows? But that's a pretty cool thing. And and you see stories like that. And a lot of people are like, well, he could have gave the money to charity or something like that. He could have used that money to help cure cancer. He could have done something better with it than buy everybody else coffee. Well, it's his money, and if he wants to do something like that and it makes him feel good, then let him do it. And besides, you never know how just something as simple as a free cup of coffee may change someone's life, or at least put a smile on their face. Could cause a chain reaction. Somebody goes in, they get a free cup of coffee, puts a smile on their face. They smile at somebody that maybe was on their way to rob a bank. They saw this guy smiling, they decided not to rob the bank. See, you never know, and I know that's a little far-fetched, but it could happen, right? I was sick last week, and I don't know what it is, but I thought I was absolutely going to die. And I told you the story already, and it's on one of my earlier shows. But it involved me sleeping a lot. It involved me having a sore throat, body aches, blah, 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 blah. So there's this new stomach bug. And I'm thinking maybe I had this. I'm one of those people when I see something that's new, I'm like, oh, I think maybe I had that one. But there's this bad stomach bug. It's going around the United States. The Center for Disease Control has reported 250 people infected with, I don't know how to say it. It's cyclospora, I think. Cyclospora. We'll go with that. And this was just in Iowa, Nebraska, Texas, Wisconsin, and Georgia. Oh, and Connecticut. I didn't want to leave Connecticut out. It's such a tiny state. I miss it. Now, the bug causes diarrhea and other flu-like symptoms. Now, see, I had some bouts, but I'm thinking maybe that was from the antibiotic that I took. And see, the doctors, they give you amoxicillin whenever they don't know what's wrong. It's like, okay, we tested him for strep throat, we tested him for mono, I got nothing. Here, just give him amoxicillin, tell him to come back in 5 days if he's still feeling bad. Luckily, I felt better. So whatever it was they gave me, it helped. Or it just ran its course and I was good. So how do you get it, this new stomach bug? Well, I'm going to tell you. This is sort of a food-themed show. So usually by eating food that contains particles of feces. So you may want to leave the feces out of your food next time you go to dinner. Just a suggestion. Now, similar infections are more common in tropical and subtropical countries and have been linked to imported produce in the past. The FDA is investigating, thank God. Thank God the FDA is on this. So just in case you didn't have enough to worry about already, there may be poop in your fruit. So that's just something to look forward to. And speaking of poop, Taco Bell, I've got some bad news. I've got bad news for the little kids and maybe the elderly. And I say the elderly just because I know they don't eat as much, and sometimes they'll go through and they'll order the kids' meals. And they say it's because they don't eat as much, but I'm thinking it's just because they like the toys. And also bad news for those people that have had gastric bypass surgery. Now, Taco Bell is saying adios to the kids' menu. And that includes the coveted toy and food combo deals. So this is what they're saying. Kids' meals and toys simply no longer make sense for us to put resources behind. And that's Greg Creed. He's the Taco Bell CEO. Who, did you know he weighs 516 pounds? Look it up. And while that may be a bummer to young fans of the chain's delight, for public health groups like the Center for Science and the Public Interest, it's relatively a good thing. Now, kids' menus featuring toys are a potential dangling carrot for obesity. So now they're blaming our kids on being fat on the toys that they get at fast food places. It's not the parents' fault, is it? I know what happens. Any kid that gets within a 5-mile radius of Taco Bell or McDonald's or any other place that gives away toys, they're automatically harassed by an employee of one of these fast food places until they buy a kid's meal. Couldn't be the parents' fault. Okay, I'm going to stop by here and I'm going to get you a Happy Meal just so you'll shut the hell up. All right, I don't care if you get fat as long as you're stuffing your face and you're quiet for 5 freaking minutes. That's all I care about. Next thing you know, they'll be taking the toys out of cereal. And you know, one of the big bummers for me, and Cracker Jacks, yeah, they're still around. I still look for them on occasion because I like some Cracker Jacks from time to time. When I was growing up, they had really cool toys in the Cracker Jack boxes. But now, not so much. I mean, they might have, and see, I'm 42 years old, and I'm complaining about the Cracker Jack toys. But I'm assuming the economy has hit Cracker Jack as well. But they might have like a little temporary, what do they call it? Temporary tattoos. It doesn't even work good. I don't want a temporary tattoo of an octopus on my arm that's going to flake off in 5 minutes. I want something cool. I want something made of metal. See, back when I was growing up, they used to put slinkies in the Cracker Jack boxes. I don't know how they got it in there, but you pulled it out and then you got a slinky. See, that's when they were cool. So I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But you know what's going to happen? They take the kids menu away from Taco Bell, then what's the other alternative? If mom or dad wants to go to Taco Bell, they've got the kid with them. So what are they going to order their 8-year-old? Well, they're probably going to order off of the adult menu, and I'm thinking that probably includes more food. So they're still going to be fat. They're still going to get huge. And on top of it, they're not going to get a toy to temporarily make them feel better for being fat. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. I'm going to scroll up because I don't want to miss anybody. We have the lovely, vivacious Kiss in the chat. Kiss, it's always a pleasure and an honor to have you here. I've also got my good buddy Kevin Logan that's in the chat. Me and Kevin, we go way back. And thank you, Kevin. I asked earlier, what's the name of that chemical in turkey that makes you sleepy? And he says it's tryptophan, and I couldn't remember that. But I'm thinking maybe they're putting that in the cheese in Mexican restaurants because I swear to you, if I close my eyes for 2 seconds, I'm gone. I don't even know how I'm sitting up at this point. And I was fine. I was fine an hour ago, and I didn't eat that much. I didn't sit here and gorge myself. I ate some the fajitas nachos, and I ate some of the cheese dip and the tortilla chips, and I'm just tired. I don't know what I was ready to rock and roll too. I've got my buddy Travis in the chat. You're not too late this time, Travis. The show just started, and I think I may have caught Travis before he hit his drunken stupor. So I'm catching him before he gets drunk, which is kind of cool. We have Johnny Molson in the chat, a.k.a. JD, or formerly known, as JD of Mobster Boss Radio. So, and I got a chance to check your show out today, and I was so excited because I had my Skype up, and then I saw where Sonny messaged me and said that you guys are going live. So I clicked right over there and I clicked play, and I'm sitting there thinking you're live, and it was already done. It was over. And I would love to catch you guys live eventually. I want to see. That's a lot of the fun for me, being in a live chat while the show's going on. So hopefully I'll be able to catch that with you guys pretty soon. But check out the Johnny Molson, Sonny and Lester show on Spreaker if you haven't already. I've never had a burger at In-N-Out. I don't know if that's on my list or not, but we'll check it out here pretty soon. Oh, Five Guys is on the list. I thought about just skipping over that one and not even looking at it because we recently had a Five Guys that opened up down the road. And if you've never eaten at a Five Guys burgers, oh man, you don't know what you're missing. Oh yeah. You're going to eat there, and then you're going to take 2 bites, and you're going to get really fat. 3 bites, you're going to die. But it's so good because they've got those burgers, and you can sort of have them customized however you want, like with the sautéed mushrooms and the onions, just whatever you want. And then they've got those fresh cut French fries. And I don't know if everybody likes fresh cut French fries or not, and maybe it's an acquired taste. I don't know. I grew up eating them. But man, they are so good, and they go great. They go great with those burgers. And we're going to talk a little bit about Five Guys fries and their large order here in a little while. Yeah. But anyway, so we've got who else we got in the chat? Yeah, Travis, you bring up something interesting. He said Taco Bell had kids' meals. See, I didn't know that either. And I never took my kids there, I guess, when they were younger, because they were always wanting to go to McDonald's and Burger King and stuff like that. So it's not going to affect me at all. But I'm sure there are a lot of parents out there that are going to be discouraged because they can't get one of those cheap toys to keep their kids occupied in the car at Taco Bell. We have John Gonzalez in the chat. He has that show where he plays that late night love making music with Johnny Gonzalez. You like how I changed your name to Johnny? You like that? I did that because I feel like it's more sexy. And if you're like me, you need all the sexy help you can get, right? So hot dogs are bad for you. And, I figured hot dogs would be on the list. And you just hear about what's in hot dogs, or at least there's a mystery behind what's in hot dogs. And that's scary enough. But then you've got all these little kids that choke on hot dogs every year. So, hot dogs are evidently just lethal. And I'm just kind of flying through some of these things. We're going to get in depth when we talk about some of the fast food places and what they have to offer. You're an idiot if you don't know donuts are bad for you. You're just an idiot if you think you can sit there and eat a dozen donuts and not get fat. All right, you eat a donut, you're gonna put on some kind of weight. Most donuts are 35 to 40% trans fats. That's the worst kind of fat you can eat. That's why they're so good, because they're so bad for you. Now, these fats, they're actually linked to brain diseases, cancer, fun stuff like that. And now, soda is on the list. And I know, I totally endorse Mountain Dew. I talk about Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dew. And with the exception of today, I've gotten it down to 1 or 2 cans a day. And that's pretty good for me. But for some reason today, I hooked it up to the IV. And I've just been taking it intravenously. So sodas, yes, are bad for you. But you know what's worse than a regular soda? And see, this is coming out more now. But it's diet sodas. So a diet soda could actually be the worst food of all time. So it contains most of the problems of regular soda. It has that aspartame stuff in it. And now it's called amino sweet. Now, according to research, aspartame is linked to the following health conditions. Are you ready? Okay, get ready to write this down. I'm not going to tell all of them to you. Anxiety attacks, binge eating, sugar cravings, birth defects, blindness, brain tumors, chest pain, depression, dizziness, epilepsy, fatigue, headaches, migraines, hearing loss. Maybe I should read them all because this is kind of fun. And this is all what you're going to get from diet soda. I'm about halfway through. Maybe not. Heart palpitations, hyperactivity, insomnia, joint pain, learning disabilities. So if your kids are going to school and they're stupid, it's because you're letting them drink diet soda. Also, PMS. So yes, guys, if you drink a lot of diet sodas, you could suffer from PMS, muscle cramps, reproductive problems, and even death. See, I wasn't lying when I told you eat some of these foods, you go out and drink a diet soda, you're going to die. Now, aspartame's effects can be mistaken for Alzheimer's disease, chronic fatigue, epilepsy, some things that I can't say, Huntington's something, it's Lou Gehrig's disease, and the list goes on. So this is why diet soda is worse than regular sodas. So if you're going to drink soda at all, and I probably wouldn't recommend it, just go ahead and drink the real stuff. Don't drink the fake stuff. Just drink the real stuff. Go ahead and have fun with it. John says you're going to get fat. Krispy Kreme, baby. Yeah, if you're going to eat a donut, you might as well go for the Krispy Kreme, right? Travis says, I ate an entire package of bacon at one time. He said he ain't scared. And I love bacon. I'm sitting here thinking, what would I come closer to cutting out, Mountain Dew or bacon? I don't know. I really don't, and I don't talk about bacon as much on the show as I do Mountain Dew. I think it's just because bacon's not as readily available. If I could just go to the convenience store, okay, if they had the Mountain Dews in the convenience store, and then right beside it they had a strip of bacon, and if I could just walk into the convenience store and grab a strip of bacon, I may have an issue. But see, I'm kind of picky with my bacon. I mean, do you like your bacon crispy or do you like it kind of chewy? I like my bacon kind of chewy. And it's a little misleading sometimes because if you're frying bacon, if you wait for it to get done in the frying pan, then it's going to be overcooked. So you almost have to pull it out early. And it's bacon, for crying out loud. It cooks fast. It doesn't take, but you throw it in there, you let it cook for a few seconds, you turn it over, let it cook for a few more seconds. It's going to kill any bacteria, then take that out. And it's good to go. I like mine a little chewy. And I don't know if I'm in the minority. I like crunchy peanut butter. I like long walks in the park, John Gonzalez. Tell me about yourself. We got Big Tiny in the chat. He says, living on the planet Earth is bad for your health, according to doctors. Exactly. We should all just move. We should all move from the planet Earth and go to Canada. Maybe we'll be happier there. And John has admitted to drinking too much Diet Cola, and now he suffers from PMS. Drink water, best drink. See, I drink quite a bit of water. I know when I'm out and about or if I'm working or something, I drink a lot of water. So I'm pretty good there, but I'm sure I cancel it out when I drink the Mountain Dew. So you guys got accepted. So Mobster Boss, congratulations. So Mobster Boss Radio is officially an iHeart Radio show. So you guys beat me to it. I applied to it, I guess it's probably been about a day and a half ago. And I keep going to my page and I keep checking it. It's like still pending. Really? You're still pending? Come on. Just let me in. But congratulations to Mobster Boss Radio for that. And JD, like I said earlier, is now known as Johnny Molson. I need to catch up with you guys a little bit. I haven't talked to you in forever, so we need to catch up a little bit. I want to know what's going on. I'm going to catch up. But now I've got some other things that we're going to talk about. Now, food is going to be a theme of the show, and then we're going to talk about some other things that I came across on the internet. And you know, if you come across something on the internet, it's got to be true. Oh. Let me leave you with this before I go to my break. Because this is disturbing. And we never talk about anything disturbing on the Chris Top program. And this always happens to Chinese people. This never happens here. There's a 60-year-old Chinese man. He had been suffering from nasty headaches. And he had been fainting a lot. And this had been going on for at least 6 months before he went to see a doctor. His name is Wang Ming. He had an x-ray. Now, the x-ray revealed, and this, I'm assuming this is a true story. I mean, you hear about these things, but I'm thinking this is true. The x-ray revealed a 6-inch long parasitic worm inside of his skull. Okay, now I want you to take a dollar bill out of your pocket, out of your wallet, and I want you to look at the dollar bill. That's about how long that worm inside of his skull was. That's a big worm to have floating around in your head. Now, Ming, I'm thinking of Flash Gordon right now. Ming was admitted to the First People's Hospital to have it removed in a 3-hour operation. Now, the best part is he's alive, and he is wormless. Now, this is the creepy part. This is the ooey gooey part. And I said ooey gooey, okay? I whatever. When doctors removed the parasite, they put it in a container of water. I'm not finished. So they removed the parasite, they put it in a container of water. It started to swim around. So they took it out of this guy's skull, this 6-inch long worm. They put it in water and it started to swim around. I'm wondering if they're going to let him take it home with him. I mean, would you want to take that home with you? And like when people came over, you'd be like, hey, look, I just had surgery. Look what was in my brain. It was this 6-inch long worm. I'm going fishing later. I figure we could probably get maybe 3 out of it. We'll use that for fish. So I mean, I don't know, but I really hope that that kind of stuff doesn't start happening here. You know? Kevin says, Ooey Gooey was a worm. He lived out in the rain. Is that like a kid's thing? I don't even know. I just thought I made that up. Now, this is the Chris Top program. You're absolutely, positively in the right place. I don't want you to move because we're going to talk about more food, no more parasites. Maybe not. Well, we might when I come back. Yeah. I'll be back in just a minute.
As I sit here, I look down at this once great city. Its past riddled with manipulation, deception, and lies. If you weren't so blinded by your own obsession, you'd see the true villain. The mirror doesn't lie. Take a good look, and you'll see everything you truly detest. The future uncertain with the exception of one small detail. I am here to stay. No matter what you throw at me, no matter what you do to me, I'll keep coming, and I'll keep coming. I am the Dork Knight.
I am the one and only Chris Top.
He is Chris Top, bitch.
We were sitting up there on your mama's roof, talking about everything under the moon, with the smell of honeysuckle and your perfume. All I could think about was my next move, but you were shy, so was I. Maybe that's why it was so hard to believe when you smiled and said to me, are you gonna kiss me or not? Are we gonna do this or what? I think you know I like you a lot, but you're about to miss your shot. Are you gonna kiss me or not? It was the best dang kiss that I ever had, except for that long one after that. And I knew if I wanted this thing to last, sooner or later I'd have to ask for your hand. So I took a chance, bought a wedding band, and I got down on one knee. And you smiled and said to me, are you gonna kiss me or not? We gonna do this or what? I think you know I love you a lot. I think we got a real good shot. Are you gonna kiss me or not? So we planned it all out for the middle of June, from the wedding cake to the honeymoon. And your mama cried when you walked down the aisle. When the preacher man said, say I do, I did, you did too. Then I lifted that veil and saw your pretty smile. And I said, are you gonna kiss me or not? Are we gonna do this or what? Look at all the love that we got. It ain't never gonna stop. Are you gonna kiss me or not? Baby, I love you a lot. I think we got a real good shot. Are you gonna kiss me or not?
Okay, so how come Mobster Boss gets accepted and I'm still pending? Frickin' driving me crazy.
Some common folk would have you believe that Apache Ed was born just like you and me. But as the tale unfolds, you'll begin to realize that Apache Ed is much more than a man. Apache Ed was shot from the sun and exploded into the earth. He was forged from rock. Most will say if you travel to the belly of the Grand Canyon, you can feel the presence of Apache Ed.
The Chris Top program, listened to by tens of thousands of people, with podcasts on over 30 sites worldwide, but only live on Spreaker.com.
was wondering, are you going to eat that? No, I swear, you burn calories while you're listening to my show. Lots of calories. It's like setting a fat kid on fire. No, it's not WOBA, it's WABA. WABA. Dude, my neighbor just busted me stealing his Wi-Fi. I've got to end the show now.
The Chris Top Program. Join the best chat on Spreaker.com.
And yes, this is the Chris Top Program. And Holly was saying in the chat, she says, she's talking about her show. She says, I think I still need practice because I'm new, but I might have potential. And then, of course, she says, and most people do say this, Holly, so don't feel bad. She says, I can't pass Chris Top's talent, of course. And like I said, most DJs on Spreaker do admit to that. But maybe I could come close one day. Any words of advice? I want to know what I can do better. And, of course, the first thing I said was keep broadcasting. I mean, if it's something that you love doing, then the more you do it, the better you're going to get. I mean, if you have a passion for what you're doing, then, of course, you're going to be good at it. I mean, could you imagine a world where everyone was passionate about their job, or a world where everyone loved what they were doing? It'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So, of course, you're going to get better. You just have to keep doing it. I think I mentioned this yesterday. I went back and I listened to some of the old YouTube videos that I did. And I used to do podcasts through YouTube, and this was way before I found Spreaker. And they were horrible. They were absolutely horrible. I was listening to those, and I thought, man, I should take these down. But then I thought, nah, I'll just leave them up. Just because it sort of keeps things in perspective for me. And I think what automatically made me better was getting on here and knowing that I was broadcasting to a live audience. Because that stuff was pre-recorded, and I could go back and fix it, and it just sounded like I was just reading through the whole thing. But now on Spreaker, you're forced to interact, and it just brings something else out of you. So for sure, that made me a whole lot better. And there are a lot of people, I think, on Spreaker that do the podcast, and then they release it after it's pre-recorded. So I'd recommend just getting away from that altogether and just doing a live show. It's going to make you better, and plus, like I said, you're going to have that interaction with the listeners in the live chat. So that makes it pretty fun. John says you couldn't cuss because the Spreaker police will come knocking at your door. Worse than that, what they do is they'll actually box up a polar bear, and they'll send the polar bear to you in the mail, and they'll FedEx it, but I mean, it's like a 3-day deal. So when you get the polar bear in the mail, it's not only a polar bear, but it's also a really hungry, pissed off polar bear. So if you get a large box from Spreaker in the mail, just make sure you send it back. Because when you send it back, joke's on them, because then it's going to be in the mail for 3 days, or 3 more days, 6 days total. It's going to be really hungry when it goes back to Spreaker, and then Francesco opens it up. Let's see. Travis says, don't listen to him, Holly. Swear all you want. And Travis is going to check Holly's show out. See, this is the place where people come together. It really is. It really, really is. I've got some good news. For those dorks out there, because we may not always be the life of the party, but many times we are funny, and whether it's people laughing at us or laughing with us, I don't know that it really matters. Really don't know that it matters. And I got kind of excited earlier. I saw on the Biggest Movers on Twitter, I saw a Kate Upton swimsuit, and thought maybe it was a new one, but it was all the same old stuff. And if you ever Google Kate Upton swimsuit, you're going to get like 5 trillion pictures of Kate Upton in a bikini. I mean, it just keeps going and go. You scroll and scroll. You'll be 80 by the time you get done with it. That's how many there are. But back to what I was saying. So if you're a dork and you've always felt like the bad guys get the chicks, well, I might have some good news for you. So here it is. Scientists have determined that there may be hope for the goofy, hopeless romantic. That's 99.9% of the dorks in the world. Now, this study was conducted at Stanford University School of Medicine. If it's from Stanford, it must be right. Researchers found that women have an evolutionary disposition to appreciate humor more than men. So in other words, this makes a sense of humor a very, very important element when the female is choosing a suitable mate. Do I sound like the National Geographic Channel right now? Do I? So this makes a sense of humor an important element when choosing a suitable mate. So boys and girls between the ages of 6 and 13 were shown funny videos. Now, the female brains, they showed more heightened activity, which scientists theorize is due to the fact that the female brain and its reward circuit is biologically better prepared to respond accordingly. So there you go, dorks. Now that you know, this could be your opportunity to actually go out there and maybe actually get a girlfriend. You can actually take the one that you have to blow up, put her back in the closet. You could go out there and get a real girlfriend just from being yourself. Travis is hacked off because he wants to know where his polar bear's at. Wabba back to you, Travis and John. I appreciate that. We're all working on awesome together. Holly says she's got a question. Well, Holly, you just shoot. I'll answer any question anytime. And if I don't have a good answer for it, I'll make it up. Every time I'm getting ready to do a show, here comes Chris Top to steal my thunder. Hello there, Nathan. How are you, buddy? It's good to see you. When is Baba Booey coming on the show? That's Holly's question. You know, I'm not Howard Stern. I'm not Howard Stern. I'm going to let Howard Stern do what Howard Stern does. I'm not even going to try. That's too much pressure for me. It really is, and he's very good at it. So I don't know if Baba Booey's ever going to make it to the show or not. I mean, if he wants to hang out on the show sometime, sure. We'll go for it. Now, we've got Scooter in the chat. He's my Red Bull loving friend. He says, I married the devil's ex-wife. Now I'm in hell. Oh, my goodness. You see, that's why I'm divorced. Let's see. Okay, so I'm caught up on the chat. This was interesting. Did you ever see The Untouchables where Elliot Ness asked, I forgot what Sean Connery's name was in the movie, but he asked him, how do you beat Capone? And he starts going off on this rant about, how you need to bring, if Capone brings a knife, you bring a gun, and if Capone brings a gun, then you bring a bigger gun, something like that. Listen to this. Derek Mosley, I don't know what he was thinking when he walked into a discount gun store in Oregon. Now, he walked in there with a baseball bat. You don't go into a gun store with a baseball bat ready to rob it. I mean, you might go into a hobby shop with a baseball bat and maybe get away with some loot, but you don't go to a gun store with a baseball bat. Maybe he was robbing the gun store so he could rob something else. Maybe he was robbing the gun store so he could rob a convenience store. But see, you'd be better off going to a convenience store with a baseball bat. Not a gun store. Are you stupid, Derek? Anyway, the manager reached for the nearest thing to defend himself. You think maybe, wait, what do you think he reached? Do you think he reached for maybe a knife? Maybe a baseball bat? Maybe he had an aluminum baseball bat. And Derek had a wooden one. No. He reached for a gun. Now, those are pretty readily available in a gun store. And that's sort of why you don't want to use a baseball bat, because more than likely, the manager's going to have access to a gun. Now, he ordered Mosley to the ground. So what do you think? The guy walks in with the baseball bat, smashes the counter, and says, give me all your guns. And of course, the manager goes, okay, I'll start with this one. Click. All right, get down on the ground, you scumbag. Fires a couple of shots at his feet. Maybe fires one into his bat and just busts it into a million little pieces. So I could see that. I could see that. So he ordered Mosley to the ground, and the police took it from there. An idiot. I mean, I've seen some really dumb stories. I really have. And I've never robbed a gun store. But I'm thinking if you go to a gun store, you probably need to take in maybe a cannon or something. You need to take in something that's going to be better than the guns. or at least a bigger gun than what he was using. Now, I have an inspirational story for you here. But then again, this story kind of makes me a little mad for one reason or another. But Pierre is his name. His name's Pierre Thomas. He was born blind 68 years ago. Now, 68 years ago, there was nothing at all that medical science could do for him. Now, 2 years ago, this guy, he fell down a flight of stairs. Now, when he fell down the steps, he fractured some of his facial bones. And some of those bones, they included like his eye sockets. Now, during the process, the plastic surgeon, he asked a really casual question to Pierre. He said, "Do you want us to fix your eyes as well?" So I guess what makes me mad, well, okay, I'll tell you the rest. So basically it was 2 simple cataract removal operations. And then Pierre could actually see. Now he's still adjusting to actually changing his fingertip sense memory to visuals. So could you imagine being 68 years old, never seeing a thing? You get through your whole life by touching things and feeling things, and then all of a sudden you've got this new superpower, it probably feels like. So Thomas says he's thrilled to be in an amazing new world. It's like being a child all over again. Great story, inspirational story. But science maybe could not have removed these cataracts 68 years ago. But I remember being a little kid. I don't know how old I was. Maybe I was 10. So this was 32 years ago, right? My mother had cataract surgery. And that was 30. So why wasn't this guy able to see 30 years ago? I mean, did someone not go to him and say, "Hey, dude, so if the only reason you're blind is because of those cataracts, I mean, it's like a 5-minute operation. You can walk out of there and you can see again. I mean, we'll go to the strip club tomorrow. You can actually, So why didn't somebody tell this guy something? Or is he just one of those old guys that's like, well, I'm at the time he would have been, 36? Oh, I'm 36 already. My life, that's all I know is being blind. I mean, at 68, he was ready to go for it. Yeah, you would think somebody would have said, "Hey, get this surgery, you'll be able to see, life will be better." And he could have got his sight back in his 30s instead of when he was 70. I find it a little frustrating. I'm frustrated for the guy. Fact, the 3 wise men once stopped to listen to Chris Top. And then Travis says, that's why Christmas is on the 25th instead of the 23rd. These are good. I'm going to use these because I've been putting those facts on my page. Holly said, God stopped listening to our prayers to listen to Chris Top. See, that's funny stuff. And if you ever look at my fan page, I've been posting these little facts on the page. So any facts that you guys want to send my way for consideration, please do that. Yesterday I posted fact, if Chris Top stays in bed, the sun does not come out. And then today I talked about women who listen to the Chris Top program, their cup size grows at least 2 times. And then a couple days ago I put the fact, the Chris Top program brings all the dorks to the yard. So if you guys have any Chris Top facts, that any ideas that you'd like for me to post on the Facebook page, by all means, let me know. And maybe we can work something out. Osama got caught and killed. Well, okay, let me do this right. Fact. Osama got caught and killed because he stopped to listen to Chris Top. Fact. North Korea put off World War II to listen to Chris Top. See, these are actually really good. You guys are geniuses. You really are. And I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. Maybe we'll have some more Chris Top facts. And by all means, post those on my Facebook page. That's a lot of fun. We're going to talk about. Well, I tell you what. Let's put the break off for a minute because I'm having a good time. Now I have a big question to ask you at the end of this, so I want you to listen very, very closely. Oh, and we have to start talking about the food stuff too. Well, this will be a good lead into it. Little kids, they love candy. And we all know that. And I'm an adult, and I'll still buy the occasional Hershey bar because I have a weakness for Hershey bars. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, writing bad checks to get candy, there may be something wrong with that. And this is what a 12-year-old did. It's one of those 12-year-old French girls. She needs to write a check and shave under her armpits is what she needs to do. So she recently discovered that it was bad to write bad checks. So the unnamed sweet-toothed delinquent, she stole a neighbor's checkbook in March, and she managed to purchase, are you ready, $3,440 worth of treats from local bakeries before she actually got busted. Now, one of the shops tried to deposit 23 checks. What did they save the checks for 2 months before they deposit them? Was this all done in a day? Did she write 23 different checks because she kept getting hungry? Now, the youngster was questioned by cops and released to her parents. Now, apparently there's no trace of evidence, so I'm guessing she ate it all. Okay, either she went to a really expensive bakery or she ate a whole lot of candy. And I don't guess it was... don't they have that electronic check stuff in France where you just run it through there and they save it? Does anybody write checks anymore? All right, and this is the big question. If a 12-year-old girl came into your business 23 times, I'm just going to say within a month, would you accept checks from her? I mean, she sits there, okay, hang on, let me get my checkbook out. So then she writes her check for however much money for her chocolate treats, and then she walks up. I mean, who's going to accept a check from a 12-year-old girl? Frustrating is what that is. She should have never gotten away with one. Did they wait a month before they tried to cash any of them? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, does it? Now, in the title of my show, because this is the food show, this is the bad food show, go ahead and just ignore everything that I've said and just eat whatever you want to, because I have a genius invention for you. And the Carney people, they figured this out a long time ago. And why this hasn't made its way into our homes and into clothing stores yet, I have no clue. Maybe it has made it into the clothing stores. We just don't know any better. Because, you know, whenever you try on clothes, not that I try on clothes. I usually just buy things and take them home. If they don't fit, I put them in a chair, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to take them back eventually. Then I just don't. Maybe one day I'll drop about 10 pounds. I'll be able to wear it. Yeah, it don't happen. It don't ever happen. So there's a way that you can actually cultivate a positive body image, and you can feel comfortable with your own shape. Because, are you ready for this? The skinny mirror is here. Now, according to the website, the mirror gives you extra confidence to take on the world. No, it doesn't fill you full of false hope at all. It gives you that extra confidence that you need. By presenting you with a distorted image of yourself that looks about 10 pounds lighter. Do they have one that might make you look 30 to 40 pounds lighter? That one I could be interested in. Could I actually take little teeny skinny mirrors and put them, maybe make contacts out of them, and give them to all of my friends and anybody that I come in contact with? That way when they look at me, I look maybe 30 to 40 pounds lighter. Now that would be cool. Now it works like those illusions at the fun fair. But its aim is to make you appear streamlined instead of turning you upside down or shrinking you down to a few feet tall. Now, the Skinny Mirror Company allows you to have a mirror custom made. You can get different types of wood effects, but you get the same concave curve to the glass that'll give you that magic, well, that fake, slimmer figure, and probably more confidence to boot. See, I don't think that's going to give me more confidence because I feel like I'd be living a lie. Be like, okay, what I've done is I'm going to invite all my friends over. Don't look at me. I'm going to just put skinny mirrors up all over my walls. So when you talk to me, just look at the skinny mirror as if that's me. Now, what if you're a vampire? What if you're a fat vampire? You're totally screwed. I mean, the skinny mirror is not going to work for you. So if you're a fat vampire, then you're just screwed. All right. There's a New York Police Department officer. This story is just weird. It's just weird. Erica Noonan, that's her name. She was busted for a DUI. Now, she probably didn't expect to hear from the officer. I mean, at least not until she went to court. But the officer, his name's Carlos Becker, he started texting the woman 3 days later. See, this is getting kind of sketchy, right? And the things that he would say to her is stuff like, they should go to Atlantic City. And then he said this, he says, I'm trying to do something nice to take your mind off of things, is what he wrote to her. And, of course, just like any woman should, she said yes, and she eventually went to dinner with him. So they went to dinner, they downed some drinks, tequila shots, and she actually did not drive that night. Now, see, this is where the story gets really, really weird. Noonan later woke up fully clothed in Officer Carlos Becker's bedroom. And that's not the weird part, that she woke up fully clothed. The weird part is she woke up with a massive black eye and no memory of the evening. So what happened? What did he do to her? Is she making this up? Did he really do something? I mean, it's kind of convenient, you know, if you're trying to get out of something and you wake up with a black eye and you don't remember anything the next morning. Or did he drug her? Well, see, these stories make me mad because they don't give me enough details. I can't even come to my own conclusion. So Becker told her that she fell, and Becker's been suspended, and Noonan plans to sue. But, I mean, she still had all of her clothes on, so, I mean, did she not go to the doctor? Did he have sex with her? Did he try to have sex with her? I mean, she could have found these things out. I mean, if he didn't try to have sex with her, then there's a good possibility that maybe she did fall. But then again, Carlos, dude, it's just creepy that you're going to start texting some chick that you busted 3 days earlier, and then you're going to ask her out. Well, I felt some chemistry. I put her in those handcuffs, and she looked back at me, and she had a tear in her eye, and I could tell that maybe that was a tear of love. So I thought, I'm going to send her a text, and I'm going to take her out. I'm going to show her the time of her life. And then I'm going to black her eye. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. All I can do is speculate and have fun with the story. So what's going on in the chat? You guys are just really taking advantage of the chat today, and that's cool. Let's see what we got. I'm going to try to see. This chat doesn't always cooperate, so I've got to scroll down. Fact: if I hadn't robbed Chris of his milk money, he'd be a millionaire. You know, so many times I had to go back home and get money because Nathan took my milk money. So yeah, I might be or at least $100 heir by now. Fact: the babysitter got fired because she listened to Chris Top instead of the kids screaming. Oh, instead of the kids screaming fire. Fact: Rip Van Winkle kept sleeping because he was dreaming about Chris Top. See, you guys are smart. Let's see. Fact: Walking Dead is a world. Fact: Walking Dead is a world without Chris Top. Don't know if I get that one. Maybe that went over my head. I think either Travis is drunk or he's talking over my head now. This is the Chris Top program. You're absolutely, positively in the right place. When we come back, we're going to, of course, play the... well, why don't we do that before we go on break? See, I keep putting these breaks off just because I like hanging out with you guys. I really do. Now, if you are... let's just go ahead and do all this at once. Let's do this. If you have a show on Spreaker, go ahead and type the word show into the chat, and this will give everybody else an opportunity to click on you and give you a follow. And I'll challenge you to at least listen to their show one time. If you like it, that's great. If you don't like it, then unfollow them and never listen to them again. But at least for now, you can spread the Spreaker love.
We're just here to spread that love all around. Spread it around. Spread it around.
Now that we've spread that Spreaker love all over each other, let's go ahead and do this. stand to your feet, place your hand over your heart, raise your other hand into the air, and I want you to say this. I'm a dork, I'm proud, and I'm hip. Because this is the Dork National Anthem, as written and sung by my good buddy, wrong song, as written and sung by my good buddy, Belgium Tim. And we're going to follow this up with the Wabba Rap by my other good buddy, Big N.
Working on being awesome every day. I'm working on being awesome every day. W-O-B-A-W-O-B and yeah, I'm working on being awesome every day. I'm not really awesome to this day, but I'm working on being awesome every day. I'm not awesome today, but I'll be one day.
Okay, now I've got a new listener in here, and I usually don't break in between these songs. I usually just play them back to back. But I do want to welcome you to the chat. I'm not exactly sure how to say your first name. I'm going to say Noran. Noran Fekri is your name. But when you come into my show, from this point on, you're known as Feck. Just because that's easy for me. And I'm pretty sure I've got at least that part right. Now, when you come into my show, what you're doing is you're telling the world that you're a dork. If you're ready to step from that closet, Feck, and into the light of your dorkhood and embrace your dorkhood, then you're in the right place. Now, I have a challenge for you, Feck. And if you don't take this challenge, well, feck you. But this is the challenge. Go to my Facebook fan page and post the dorkiest picture that you have of yourself. And you, too, will be in the Dork Hall of Fame with other famous dorks of the world like Chris Top. And Travis, I don't think you've posted your dorky picture yet. So in that case, Travis, I have to say feck you as well.
Yeah, Big N in the building, representing the dorks. Dorks of the world unite, y'all. Yeah. Hey there, everybody, I got something to say. This guy right over there is Wabba every single day. Okay, what is Wabba?
It gets so creepy cold thing.
No, dude, it's just a little dork singing. Well, W is working, O is on it, B is being, and A is for awesome, and that's the dork saying. I'm already awesome, but that's okay, cause Mr. Chris Top is too, but he just doesn't know it. And so are all of you from here on to the far. And just so you know, life is good and I'm gone.
All right, dorks of the world, don't go anywhere. I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we have plenty to talk about. And trust me, we will get our dork on.
I was thinking about calling heaven and saying, hey, there's an angel missing. But I was kind of hoping you're a slut.
You can either talk in the Chris Top program. Take it from the top. Let's go. Baby, I love you. I need you. Get me all the time.
All right, coming right up, we're going to talk about more foods that you shouldn't eat. We're also going to bring up the KKK. We're going to bring up the possible mark of the beast, being the driver's license. And that's this one crazy lady. But if you're going to be worried about the mark of the beast, I've got something else in store for you. But we're mainly going to talk about food that's bad for you. And I don't expect you to stop. I mean, you're an adult. You know if it's good for you. If that cheeseburger is that good, you know you're going to eat part of it and it's going to kill you. That's just how it works.
A no-carb riot.
Hello, I'm Chris Crash Jesus Taylor from HTLA Radio 1 at HTLA973.com. You know, a few weeks back I happened upon the Chris Top program on Spreaker.com, and I was met with feelings and love I had never before experienced with a radio show and a host of hosts. The joy and inspiration you brought to my life, Chris, with just a few simple words. The inspirational clips, the chat banter, the total hotties that you as a dork attract and maintain without effort. The king of all dorks, you proclaim, and so it is true. Chris Top, my lord, my king, I love you. When I was thirsty, you gave me Mountain Dew. When I was hungry, you fed me Muse. When I was nervous, you helped me pee. Now, from the rooftops, I shout Wabo with glee. So please join me with the chat dorks every day for another dose of the Chris Top program on Spreaker.com.
You know, I was just sitting here thinking about Holly's show last night. It was actually pretty entertaining because she was talking about things that guys can do that girls can do that guys can't do. And it's stuff like, you know how girls can sometimes, like if they, okay, let's all go to the bathroom together. And they grab hands and they skip off to the bathroom. And they can get away with that, but guys can't. If guys do that, it's like, hey, look at those homos going to the bathroom together. They're holding hands. Are they going to go there and make out? Those homo. They need to have a homo-only bathroom for those kinds of guys. See, that's what a guy would get. But then, you know, if women do it, it's just like, oh, just, you know, girls go to the bathroom together. I don't know what they do in there. Have no idea what they do in the bathroom. You know, I would like to watch one time, and I don't mean that in a perverted way. I'm just saying I would like to just kind of see why girls go to the bathroom in groups. I mean, if I'm in the bathroom and another guy comes in, I don't make eye contact. I don't make any kind of contact, if you know what I mean. If he stands in the urinal beside me, I'll stop midstream and I'll go to the stall, just because I'm a nervous urinator. And that's just how I am. So I couldn't imagine getting a whole group of guys together to go to the bathroom. It's just not going to happen. I don't think with me or anybody else. I mean, if guys are in the bathroom together and they spend a long period of time in there together, more than likely there's some kind of a drug deal going down. But they don't go there and put makeup on together and things like that. It's just not going to happen. Now, is anybody doing a show directly after mine? Because I would like to be entertained. So if anybody does have a show planned, please let me know in the chat, and the one and only Chris Top will show up. Travis has got his first episode of his new horror show out. It's on YouTube. And Travis, if you would do me a favor, you don't have a Facebook, do you? I was going to say post it on my Facebook fan page, and that way I can go and check it out after the show. But Travis, if you'll post it on my Spreaker wall, then I'll check it out after the show. We'll do that, and then I'll let you know what I think about it. We'll talk. You know, if you ever need some help with some sound, I can do the sound thing, man. I'm telling you. Look, let me give you an example. Let me find it real quick. One of my besties from the UK, her name's Kim. She actually does some writing for me from time to time. And she has an idea for a zombie radio show that we are going to try to do sooner or later. It just depends. You know how that stuff goes. I mean, when somebody's not making money off of something and they have to do it in their free time, sometimes it takes a whole lot longer than it really should. So, Travis, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of the capability of the top when it comes to horror. And I've also got some Halloween stories on back in my archives if you want to check those out sometime. Because for a while there I wasn't doing any broadcasting, so I did some Halloween stories, and I thought that was a lot of fun because I got to play with audio, and that's one of my passions as well. Not just broadcasting, but just making things sound really cool. Or at least trying to make them sound cool anyway. But here are a couple of promos for Dead Air, and Dead Air has not aired yet. I don't know when it's going to air, but hopefully it'll be sometime in the future.
Hey, we've got Dead Air in there. You need to wake up.
What the hell was that? I can do this. Next caller. It's over. It's really over. Dead Air coming to Facebook very soon.
A Chris Top production.
Now, see, wasn't that kind of cool? That was really kind of... Okay, and here's the other one.
This is Steve Langham, broadcasting from 106 KBD to any survivors. If anyone can hear me, if anyone is still alive, you're not alone. Oh God, they're inside.
See, that's really making me want to hear Dead Air, but it doesn't exist yet, so I just thought I'd throw that out there for you. So we're talking about, and I haven't even started this yet, talking about some fast foods that you may want to avoid. And I'm saying that, and I know fully that you won't. You'll forget about this show by tomorrow morning, and you'll go right to KFC. And you'll get the bowl of chicken from KFC. It's the KFC chicken bowl. I'm sorry, I said it backwards. It's the KFC chicken bowl. It has a third of your recommended daily calories. So really and truly, you could eat 3 chicken bowls a day and get all of your calories. And see, I don't think that's too bad. Because, I mean, if something has a third of what you need and that's one meal, then I think that's probably okay. Now, it gets worse, though. It does. It gets worse. Chopped Cobb salad wrap. Now, this is a popular chain in New York City, and that's the name of the chain. It's in Washington as well. I've never heard of one of these places. But don't let it fool you. I mean, just because it has the word salad in it doesn't mean anything. Listen to this. It not only has more calories than a Whopper with cheese, but also comes loaded with 380 milligrams of cholesterol. That's more than what's recommended for the entire day in one of these little wraps. Dude, if I'm going to blow my whole day, I'm going to blow it on something besides a salad wrap. Seriously. You got Burger King's Oreo Sundae Shake. Now, you order a medium with strawberry ice cream, and Burger King will serve up 21 grams of saturated fat. That's more than a whole day's worth. In this delightfully delicious... This thing's got to be from heaven. I bet if you go to heaven and drink one of these, I bet it doesn't do anything. I bet you lose weight. I bet it's like eating a stalk of celery if you eat one of these in heaven where it came from. But that's a Burger King Oreo Sundae Shake. 22 ounces of sheer pleasure. Now, who likes Applebee's? I don't like Applebee's, and I'll tell you why. I got a takeout order from them a while back, and I get home, and it all came open in the bag. I mean, it was like just scattered out everywhere, and it was cold. I was only like 5 minutes away from Applebee's. It didn't take me that long to get home. But anyway, Applebee's quesadilla burger. So they took a burger, they put it with a quesadilla, two very yummy things. They put them together. It's a signature item at Applebee's. It means it's one of their specialties. So this bacon cheeseburger comes with, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Well, first, let me tell you, it's got 1,440 calories. So if you think you're going to eat light, don't order the Applebee's quesadilla burger. Don't do it. It's got 4,410 milligrams of sodium. That's almost twice the recommended daily limit in that one item. Now, how many Starbucks fans do we have out there? Do you go to Starbucks just because you feel better about yourself? Do you feel like you're doing okay when you go to Starbucks? Well, it's just coffee, right? Well, sure, if you just get a coffee, that's one thing. But if you get the Starbucks Hazelnut Signature Hot Chocolate, that's a different story. This has got 600 calories in it. This is a drink with 600 calories. So you grab one of these for your morning pickup, and you're already a quarter of the way through your recommended daily calories. And again, if I'm going to get my calories, it's not going to be from a drink. It's going to be something with a little bit of substance. Now, Dunkin' Donuts. Now, I know if you're a health food fanatic, you're not going to go inside of Dunkin' Donuts. That's not the way things work. And you've got more sense than that. You know if you're going to eat a donut, it's going to make you fat. Well, the Dunkin' Donuts Sausage Supreme Omelet and Cheese on a Bagel. I didn't even know they had this at Dunkin' Donuts. When did Dunkin' Donuts start serving this stuff? Now, this bagel sandwich has more grams of fat than 3 glazed donuts, and it comes close to the recommended limit for sodium per day. And that's that one item from Dunkin' Donuts. Now, we're going to go back to that in just a little while because that's the theme today. It's food that's bad for you. And I don't expect any of you to listen. I mean, go ahead and go to McDonald's, get a chocolate milkshake, bring it home, throw it in the blender, put in a pound of bacon, mix it in there with it, and enjoy yourself. See, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you some information. That's all I'm doing. You take it however you want. I've got leftover Mexican food in my fridge. Guess what I'm having for breakfast in the morning? Guess what I'm having for breakfast? There's an interesting, because Holly brought up Barbie in the chat. If you'll go to my Tumblr page, there's some interesting pictures of Barbie and Ken on my Tumblr. So you might want to check those out. It's a day in the life of Barbie and Ken. And I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking if Barbie and Ken were actually real, I think it could be pretty spot on. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, go to my Tumblr and check it out. And I guess, I think you just go to Tumblr and you type in the Chris Top program, and it should take you there. Let's see. What else is going on in the chat? I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry. I'm getting John hungry. I'm getting John really hungry for some of that sweet love making. So go ahead, John. Play that sweet love making music. So when we're all done making that sweet love, we can just fall asleep like men do. So Kiss says she hates Applebee's as well. Holly says, I love that place. Their buffalo chicken is the mother effing bomb. Travis says, I like Applebee's, but ours does karaoke, and F that shit. Our Applebee's isn't that cool. I don't think they do karaoke, but I tend to stay away. And, the thing is, with all these chain restaurants, you've got Applebee's, you've got Outback, you've got Logan's, you've got Rafferty's, all these places. And the town I live in, it's a really big restaurant town. I mean, it's like you eat at one of these places, they're all kind of the same. I I love the mom and pop places. I like discovering new things, and it's hard to do sometimes. It really is. And I love Mexican food, but I mean, you go to one Mexican restaurant, it's like you've been to them all. So, you just pick out one favorite and you just kind of go with it, I guess. But it's weird, isn't it? I mean, they're not even owned by the same people, but they all taste the same and they all have the same menu. So I don't know if they all get together at some convention once a year and say, hey, let's all do this. I don't know how that works. It's kind of a mystery to me. John says, I'm a Starbucks man whore. And Travis would rather have a drink with 120 proof. Holly says, fact. It takes major years to clean up after hurricanes because the cleanup crew is listening to Chris Top. See, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. And Holly says, Barbie and Ken, but wait, isn't Ken gay? Well, look at the pictures on my Tumblr page, and that might answer your question. Okay, so did I? Yeah, I took a break. Oh, I know what we're doing. I said I was going to bring up the KKK. Well, the KKK has finally come together, and they're doing something good for the community. They see you when you're sleeping. They know when you're awake. I'm not talking about Santa Claus. I'm talking about the Ku Klux Klan. And they're keeping an eye on your neighborhood. Yay, we're safe now. The KKK is watching out for us. Wonderful. So residents in Springfield, Montana, they recently awoke to discover that KKK members had done their version of a mass email. And this is how the KKK puts out mass emails. They started wrapping neighborhood watch flyers around rocks and throwing them into yards. That's classy, right? Okay, this is what we're going to do, guys, to get the word out. It's called social networking. All right, I want you to gather some rocks. Okay, now, Bob, what I want you to do is I want you to go out and buy 100, buy 300 pieces of white paper. Well, you can use notebook paper. That's okay, too. And I want you to get a bunch of pencils because I want you to make these flyers, and I want you to hand draw each and every one of them because we don't have access to printers. We don't have access to emails, so we're going to do our own social networking. So we're going to take all these flyers, we're going to tie them onto rocks. We're going to throw them through people's window. We're going to throw them into their yard. So that way when they wake up in the morning, they'll see a rock in their yard with a KKK sign on it. No, they won't be terrorized. They're going to know that we're looking out for them, that the KKK's got their back. What they could do is just maybe in the middle of the community, they could just burn a cross and say, hey, we're just doing this for light because we want to make sure that no one's breaking into your house, so everybody knows that in a well-lit neighborhood, the crime rate tends to go down. So we're going to burn crosses, okay, not just in the middle, but in everybody's yard, especially those Jews and those blacks, because we want to make sure they stay extra safe. So anyway, these people in Springfield, they recently awoke to discover that KKK members had done their version of a mass email wrapping neighborhood watch flyers around rocks and throwing them into yards. And this is what they said: you can sleep tonight knowing the Klan is awake. No, that's not creepy at all, KKK. No, you're really turning over a new leaf. Wow. Okay, the flyer says, ensuring that no one in Springfield will sleep again. The Klan, whose tastefully designed watch website features a burning cross, says it just wants to find people who will help fight crime while we wear white sheets over our heads and terrorize minorities. So the neighbors, they say that the neighbors that they're watching say that they don't want anything to do with it. And this is a quote: I have no use for them. I have no use for them people. None whatsoever. And that's what's coming out of the neighborhood. I'm glad there's not a KKK neighborhood watch around here. Really not. Fact, the Chris Top program kills zombies. Anyway, enough about the KKK. Okay, now this woman, she's one of those crazy Bible people. Now, I believe in God. I read the Bible on occasion. I'm guilty. I don't read it as much as I should. But And I know how things play out in the Bible. I know that. Now, there's a woman, she actually has tried to sue the DMV. And I'll tell you the story. I mean, we've all had some bad driver's license pictures, right? But never summoned the Antichrist from the abyss bad. All right, so Kay Beach, she believes that that allowing the DMV to fingerprint and photograph her is the beginning stages of the biblical mark of the beast. I don't think the driver's license is a mark of the beast. What would you have people do? Would you just have people carve their name into a piece of wood and hang it on their car? Okay, so anyway, a personal identification prophesied as a sign of the end times. Now, the Oklahoma woman has filed a lawsuit saying her religious rights were violated by laws that force her to keep a potentially demonic piece of plastic in her wallet. So those strange noises I hear at night, that's not Abby in the closet working on her projects. That's actually my driver's license in my wallet. She says, as a Christian, I believe the Bible clearly warns us against being enrolled in a global system of identification and financial control that ties to our bodies, is what she says. Now, I think she's a little bit of a fanatic. Just a little bit. Now, when I came across this story, I wanted to put the two together because for me, if you're going to get all biblical and you're going to talk about the mark of the beast, then this is a little closer, I think, to what the Bible's talking about. So if you're going to be afraid of something, be afraid of this. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong story. Son of a... Hang on a second. See, that was great, too. I was doing good. I was doing good. And then I blew it. You know, I don't think I have the story anymore. What did I do with the story? What? Okay, I'm going to have to look for the story, I think, over my next break. See, I don't even know what I did. See, this is not what I was going to talk. This is just kind of gross. Okay, so we'll come back to the other part of that story that I was going to tell you about. But in the meantime, when you go out and eat, do you feel a little bit guilty when you waste food? I mean, if you have stuff left over and you hand it to your server and they just take it back and they throw it away. Well, now there's a new service. It's called Leftover Swap. And it's exactly the way it sounds. It was actually created by a Seattle entrepreneur. His name is Dan Newman. Now, this allows users to share those partially consumed portions with strangers. I mean, isn't that what you want to do? Okay, say, I don't feel like I could eat my whole Applebee's quesadilla. I wonder if there's anybody else. Let me look on my app. Is there anybody else that's within 5 miles that has just eaten half of an Applebee's? Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. This guy, yeah, right here. Okay, let me just call him up and see if I can come finish off his quesadilla for him. That's kind of how it works. I mean, would you go out and just kiss a stranger? I mean, like, would you go out and French kiss somebody you don't know? I would almost have to see the person, I think, before I ate after them. I would have to maybe go to the movies with them, maybe spend some time with them before I ate off of their plate. So the app will post photos of half-eaten meals along with a location and allows users to claim them for delivery or pickup at a reduced cost. I mean, I guess it's a noble idea. It aims to reduce waste and hunger. So, I mean, you know, your mom always said, well, you know, if you're not going to eat everything, we need to package that up and send it to Ethiopia. So maybe they should give the Ethiopians the app. I don't think anybody in fat America is going to do this. Now, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, because it aims to reduce waste and hunger. Now, the very thought, though, of eating someone else's half-finished meal it kind of makes me lose my appetite, to be honest with you. It really does. So, I mean, I guess that would prompt the need for the app. If I lose my appetite, then I could put my half-eaten whatever on there, and then somebody else could come eat mine. But I'm not going to eat theirs. I mean, I would have to almost see some sort of a test to make sure that, like a blood work test, before I ate after a stranger. I mean, unless I was really hungry and it looked really, really yummy. Then maybe I might do that. Travis says, oh, hell, she would be from my state. And we're talking about that crazy lady. And Holly says, I know people who believe that. You know, and I believe it too. I do, but I don't think it's the driver's license. I really don't. John says, fact, MLK would still be alive in Tennessee if Chris Topp was on the air that fateful day, because he would have been in that hotel listening to Chris Topp. Now, see, that, John Gonzalez, is very, very deep. It really is. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to try to find that missing story. I promise you there's another story that does exist, and I'm going to try to track it down and sort of link those two together. And we're going to talk about some other fast foods that you need to stay away from. I've been saying that these fast foods would kill you, but worse than that, it could be the beginning, my friends, of the zombie apocalypse.
A feller once told me he saw Apache Ed strip down to nothing. Then he rolled around in the mud. Like a mighty streak of lightning, Apache Ed scaled the side of the Smoky Mountains. When he reached the top, Apache Ed did a jig. And this jig was so intense that it created waves of smoke that still exist today. If you can make it to the top of the Smoky Mountains, you can feel the presence of Apache Ed. I am Iron Man. Oh.
Why does this always happen as soon as I get dressed? Okay, I think that one was wet. Yeah, I have a problem here. I really hate this suit. I really do. Yeah.
I am the one and only Chris Topp, self-proclaimed leader of all dorks.
I'm Chris Topp, king of the dorks. That's right.
Yeah, I remember growing up when I was a little kid, my mom was so sweet. She would say things like, thank God, Chris, there's only one of you because you are so very special.
There is only one Easter Bunny, there's only one Jesus Christ, there's only one God, and there's only one Chris Topp.
I am the one and only Chris Topp, broadcasting live from my lavish studio apartment here in sunny Clarksville, Tennessee, with an ocean view.
Actually, that's not true. I live next to a dumpster.
Meow! Shut up, Abby. Keep quiet. Yes, I know. I don't really have an ocean view. I have a view of the local hobo singing around a burning dumpster, but I don't want my fans to know that.
Does Chris Topp have a mysterious side, a darker side, if you will? Well, I guess I do. You could compare my life to the Da Vinci Code.
C for Chris Topp. H for holy mackerel, it's Chris Topp.
Well, I don't know if my show would make sense if you played it backwards, but I do have a few things right in front of your face.
R for really awesome, Chris Topp. I for I can't believe it's Chris Topp. S for somebody pinch me, it's Chris Topp.
Am I conceited? Am I conceited? No, I'm not.
T for terrific, Chris Topp. O as in oh my god, it's Chris Topp. And P for party time with me, Chris Topp. Oh god.
Well, the ladies do like their Chris Topp.
Oh god.
Well, that's it for today, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, life is good.
And I'm gone.
Okay, so I don't know what I did with the story, but I can just sort of tell you by memory. So basically what it is, they put some sort of a chip into your face. Yeah, and you go into a store, and you walk in, and it's like within 5 seconds, they know how much money you have. They can access your banking account. They can access your PayPal. And you don't have to take a wallet or a credit card or anything into a store. Say if you're trying to catch a flight, you're running behind, you just run right past the place where you buy tickets, and then boop, boop, you just smile into the camera, and then bam, they just take the money from you. All they have to see is your face. Now, see, to me, that's more of an apocalyptic red light than a driver's license is. See, to me, that's kind of scary stuff. I'd be like, no, you ain't putting no chip in my face. You stay away from my face. You're not putting a chip in my face. I don't know. Here, just take a few dollar bills. I'll pay for my eggs like that. No, stay away from my face, dude. Seriously. Or here's my check card. Swipe that. Swipe this evil piece of plastic. Don't put anything into my face. See, to me, that's kind of scary. To me, that would be a little closer to the mark of the beast, I think, than your driver's license. I mean, driver's licenses, they've been around forever. I mean, why are you going to start picking on them now? I mean, these chips are what's evil, right? I mean, I might be a little bit of a fanatic myself. You might be, well, whatever, just put a chip in my face. I don't care. Because I lose my wallet all the time. It'd be convenient. Just, here, I'll smile in the camera. Boop. Okay, I'll go ahead and take my eggs and I'll go home. So maybe I'm a little bit of a fanatic. I don't know. There's a pretty cool picture up and about if you want to check it out. If you're a Return of the Jedi fan, it's been about 30 years since Return of the Jedi, and they've been reunited on stage. And I'll tell you, they all got together and they took a picture. Now, see, I'll tell you what's missing from the picture. Where in the hell is Han Solo and Lando Calrissian? They're not in the picture. That is kind of a bummer. But I'll tell you who is in the picture, and if you want to check it out, it's pretty cool. You've got Boba Fett is in the picture, the guy that played Boba Fett. You got Carrie Fisher, which is Princess Leia. You got Chewbacca. Dude, that guy is freaking 50 feet tall. That's crazy. I mean, you watch the old movies and you're like, wow, that's a cool costume. But I mean, really, it just, I guess it just fit him the way I mean, he looks like Chewbacca without the costume on, is what I'm trying to say. You've got Warwick Davis. He was Wicket the Ewok. And yes, he is a little person because on the Chris Top program we don't say midget. Then you have Emperor Palpatine in the picture. You have C-3PO. And Mark Hamill showed up. And Mark's there. I think he looks a little discouraged in the picture. He does. And I think he's a little discouraged because his career didn't go the way of Han Solo's. So that may be why he actually showed up for the shoot. And I have to say, I don't want to see Carrie Fisher in the slave outfit at this point. Was that mean? That was probably mean. I mean, she just got old, and she can't help it, I know. But, see, the memories, though, that I have of her in that slave outfit, when I was a little kid and I went to see Return of the Jedi, she was hot. I mean, that's any dork's dream to see Princess Leia in a slave outfit, and Return of the Jedi delivered. It really did. Those are some of my fondest earlier memories, actually. And then when I see Carrie Fisher today, it's like, I don't want to see her. Because I want to remember her the way she was in Return of the Jedi. It just works better for me. And we're talking about Star Wars, so there are still fanatics out there. And there's really no sign of people letting up either. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. These guys got together to build replicas. Let's start it like this. We've seen things come about, like lightsabers. We've seen stormtrooper suits. We've seen droids, things like that, because people do love their Star Wars. Now, there's a group of German geeks who went above and beyond. They constructed a life-size replica of Darth Vader's TIE fighter ship. Is that not cool? I mean, what would you give to have one of those in your backyard? It's like, yeah, this is my kitchen. Yeah, check out my bedroom. Nice, huh? Look at my bath. Yeah, it's a jacuzzi bath. But in the backyard, oh, wait till you see this. I have a replica of Darth Vader's TIE fighter ship right there in my backyard. No, it doesn't fly, but it just looks really cool. You want to take your picture by it? So the project began with a smaller toy model of the ship, and they just used that as a guide, but it soon expanded to a 16-foot long, 14-foot tall piece of art. So I don't know where they're going to put it or what they're going to do with it, but it's just kind of cool to have. I think. So should we talk? Let's talk about food some more. We're going to have to wrap the show up here pretty soon. But we're talking about fast foods that you may want to stay away from. And I have such a weakness for anything chocolate, I do. And I grew up drinking the chocolate shakes at McDonald's. And I think one of the reasons they're so good is just because, well, they're good. And the second reason is McDonald's has the best straws. I mean, they're thick straws and they allow you to take big gulps. And that's how you should drink a McDonald's shake, is out of a McDonald's straw. And for some reason, when you're drinking a shake and then you eat French fries and you have your Big Mac, it all just goes wonderful together. It's like a little orchestra just playing in your mouth, just this melody of goodness. So despite the Big Mac and the Quarter Pounders that dominate the McDonald's menu, the shake has more calories than any other item. Yeah. So if you think you're going to skip the burger and fries and just have a shake today, not doing you a bit of good. It has 27 grams of fat. It has more, more fat in it than the McDonald's cheeseburgers. It's 1,160 calories. But oh, are they good. And I talked earlier about how Five Guys just moved in down the road. And this is not going to stop me from eating at Five Guys. You know, granted, I'm not going to eat there twice a day, 7 days a week. You know, once every couple of weeks, it's not going to kill me, I don't think. But I know that Barack Obama, he ventured out to the mostly East Coast burger chain in late May, and he actually picked up some burgers for his staff. Now, luckily for his health, he didn't order the French fries. And you can't have... What kind of president is he? You can't have a Five Guys burger without the fries. You just can't do that. But the large fry, and if you've ever seen a Five Guys large fry, it's a lot of French fries. I mean, you've got to know that you can't sit there and eat that 3 pounds of French fries and think you're going to lose weight, because that ain't going to happen. Contains a staggering 71 grams of fat. 1,464 calories in these beautiful French fries. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, let's go to Taco Bell and let's eat healthy. Let's get one of the Taco Bell Chicken Ranch fully loaded taco salads. That couldn't be bad, right? How about 960 calories? When it comes to highest calorie count, this salad beats every other item on the Taco Bell menu. It's a salad. Now, French fries have made the list again, and this is the final thing on the list. And this isn't really a fast food place, but I felt like it deserved a mention. Again, they're yummy French fries. It's Outback Steakhouse, and it's the Aussie cheese fries. See, it's those crazy Aussies down under that are making us fat. Now, it's meant to be shared, so keep that in mind. But the appetizer has more calories than you should eat all day long. So if you go there thinking, I'm just going to get an appetizer, I'm not really that hungry, let's go ahead and go with the Outback Steakhouse Aussie cheese fries. Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll get halfway through and you'll just die right there in the chair. All right, so health advocates are hoping restaurant chains will be forced to post calorie counts. And I believe they've already passed that, haven't they? I think they have. But the French fries, the serving that they give you, 2,140 calories. And again, probably shouldn't eat them every day, but I really don't think that every once in a while is going to hurt anything. Really don't think it will. So, but I mean, don't take everything that I mentioned and just eat it once a week, because if you do that, then you're still going to get fat. Now let's talk about something healthy for a minute. How about some yogurt? Yogurt's healthy, right? What's your favorite flavor of yogurt? Do you like the blueberry? Do you like the banana? Okay, do you like the one that uses ground up insects to give it a really tasty looking pink color? Yeah, I ain't joking, okay? According to the Center for Science, in the public interest, Dannon uses dried, pulverized bodies of insects. Yeah. You'd think they just use strawberries or something like that, but no, they use insects. And this is to provide a pink hue to several of its red berry flavors. Why would they? This isn't a third world country. We're not a character on an Indiana Jones movie. This is something Bear Grylls would eat. Now, the smashed bug bodies are part of a chemical called carmine. And this chemical can trigger moderate to severe allergic reactions in a very small percentage of consumers. Now, Dannon does, and Dannon's a big corp. I mean, they're big. They make a lot of yogurt. All right, so they don't deny the charges. Now, in Sid, this is what they told the Huffington Post. They said, any of our products that contain this chemical clearly listed as an ingredients. And they said, I have nothing against people who eat insects, but when I buy strawberry yogurt, I expect yogurt and strawberries. So why risk grossing out your customers? And that was actually a quote from somebody, I guess, that had bought the Dannon yogurt before. But, I mean, I wouldn't buy yogurt that was labeled fruit and bugs. Right? So I don't know. I mean, to me, that's pretty shocking. I mean, why? It seems like there would be other things that you could put in there to give it that pink strawberry, look, I would think. So I don't know. I'm just not into eating bugs. I'm really not. I was speaking about this chick earlier. It's my sister from another mister. We've got Kimberly Top in the chat, and she's that very talented writer from the UK that I was telling you guys about. Really close friend of mine. And I'm it's better late than never, Kim. I was actually about to end the show, but it's nice to have you here. And Kim just recently got back from holiday, and I have to say holiday because, well, that's what those crazy UK people do. They go on holidays. They don't go on vacations. So she's back from holiday, and now she's back in the chat hanging out. So Kim, it's very good to see you. And Kim is a great person. She really is. And we have looks like another first timer in the chat. We have DJ Tricks in the chat. DJ Tricks, it's nice to meet you. And I've got something to tell you. Now, I'm pretty sure this is your first time in the chat. Now, I have a challenge for you. But first, let me say this. Before you listen to any more of the show, you have to understand something. This show is for dorks. This show is a safe haven for dorks of the world. This is where we all come together and we unite. So if you're ready, DJ Tricks, to step from the closet and embrace your dorkhood, then you're in the right place. Now, I have a challenge for you. I need you to go to my Facebook fan page, and I can actually post a link for that in the chat. And I can do that now because I'm good at that stuff. But anyway, or I said I was good at that stuff, but I just tried to post it and it didn't work. There we go. So you can go to my Facebook page. You can post the dorkiest picture you have of yourself. And this goes for anybody that listens to the show, whether you listen to it live or whether you listen to the podcast, or maybe you're on one of those other sites where you can't join the chat, a.k.a. the voices in my head. Please go to my Facebook page and post the dorkiest picture that you have of yourself. This DJ Tricks, and anyone else who hasn't done it yet, this will immortalize you. You'll forever be known as a dork. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We actually embrace that, and we use it as a term of endearment on this show. You know what? We've got some new people in the chat, so let me go ahead and do this again. If you have a show on Spreaker, go ahead and type the word show into the chat. We are going to spread that Spreaker love. So if somebody types the word show, make sure you click on it, give them a follow, listen to them sometimes. If you like the show, that's great. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen. But for now, anyway, let's spread the Spreaker love.
We're just here to spread that love all around. Spread it around. Spread it around.
Well, there we go. We've once again spread the Spreaker love, and that was twice. That was twice in one show today that we actually spread the Spreaker love. And I get a lot of comments sometimes, people that can't post their dork pics. They conveniently say, I don't have a Facebook. I can't post my dorky picture because I don't take dorky pictures. And I don't have a Facebook, so I can't do it.
Facebook, it's like jail. You sit around, waste time, have a profile picture, write on walls, and get poked by guys you really don't know.
So see, why wouldn't you want a Facebook? I mean, seriously. Now, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to give you a hint. Don't leave just yet, okay? That's the only time I'm going to say it. I do not, nor will I ever take any of you for granted, because there are a million things that you could be doing, but you chose to listen to me. That makes me feel very, very good. Very good. And I would like to know, before I leave, if there's anyone else doing a broadcast after mine, because I would like to jump in your chat for a little while, and that will put you in the presence with the great Chris Top. And we can hang out, like the normal people do, together for a little while anyway. Until I broadcast again, please remember this. Life is good, and I'm gone.
Is it over yet?
Completely over. You have been exposed to the Chris Top program.
Yeah, okay, are we done? I really gotta get a life.
Okay, you know how you go to those rock concerts and you listen to your favorite bands and they leave the stage and then the whole audience are like, encore, 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 come back, come back, come back. And they're all clapping and going crazy. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. This is your Chris Top Encore. And I'm not going to do a whole show, but I'm just going to come back and just do just a couple of minutes. And we're gonna chit-chat about a couple of things that I left out on purpose. Just because, well, I had to save some things for us to talk about. And I think this idea they've come up with is absolutely genius. This is a genius idea. One of the few products that you can go to the store and buy that you can really use the whole thing is deodorant. Because it's not like you have to scoop it out and then rub it under your armpit. It's like you just take the top off and then you rub it on and then you put it away, and then next time you use it, if the deodorant is too low, then you just twist the bottom and it just magically comes up, right? So then you've got more deodorant and you just put that on, and then when you run out, it's almost completely empty. Genius. Absolutely genius. So why don't they use that on other products? When was the last time you felt good about getting all the peanut butter out of the peanut butter jar? Tell me that. Why doesn't peanut butter use the little twisty things? Same goes for you, jelly. Same goes for you, salsa. I'd like to get those last couple of bites of salsa. I've still got 2 chips left. The salsa's there. So near, yet so far. So if you can't stand the sticky hell of peanut butter on your hands, then you're likely to throw away a mostly eaten jar rather than actually try to scrape out the last bit off the bottom. I mean, you could use a longer knife, sure. But why go to to that trouble when you can get your Jif or your Skippy fix from a peanut butter mill? Now, relief could be just around the corner if the entrepreneurs from Jar with a Twist get the go-ahead. So, borrowing the go-to concept of roll-on deodorant, the twisty jar allows you to crank the good stuff up toward the top. Is that not genius? Never again will we have peanut butter knuckles. And you know what I'm talking about. If you're just craving a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I don't care what you say, grape jelly is the best jelly to go with peanut butter and jelly. If I could choose one jelly, it would be grape jelly. They could do away with all the other jellies as long as I got my grape. And please never tell me if they use bugs to make the grape color. You know what? I'm still going to eat it anyway because it hasn't killed me yet. But I mean, you're craving that one peanut butter and jelly sandwich on that soft flaky bread that you've got, and it's going to be so good. So you reach in your fridge, you grab out the jelly, and it's like, oh yeah, I got my grape jelly. Then you reach in the pantry, and the peanut butter's all the way in the back, and you pick up the jar, and it's like, oh no, this feels kind of empty. So then you like look at the jar, and it's like, okay, don't panic. There's enough around the sides, and there's enough in that little crevice around the bottom where I could probably make a sandwich. Now, when I make my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I don't put the peanut butter on and then the jelly on, and I don't do it the reverse way either. I like to put them both in a bowl and then mix them up really good, and then put them on the bread. Try that sometime. If you don't do that, try it because it totally changes the taste. Don't know. I don't know if the friction causes some kind of a crazy chemical reaction or what it is, but it totally changes the taste of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, but anyway, you get your peanut butter out, and it's seemingly an empty jar, but if you can just get a spoon out and just start scraping it all, and you kind of get your hand in there a little bit, you've got peanut butter knuckles. So you know what I'm talking about. So if they don't invent the twisty peanut butter containers, then they at least need to make the peanut jars wider, because I've got big hands. You know what big hands mean, right? That means I got big feet. But I can take, so if I could take my hands and put them into the peanut butter jar and just use my hands to scrape around the side of the peanut butter jar, and then my fingers to get in those little crevices in the bottom, then I would do that. I mean, as long as no one else was looking. It's like one of those things, like somebody gets up at 3 in the morning and they see you in the fridge, you've got your whole arm in the peanut butter jar. It's like, no, Chris doesn't have a problem. Chris doesn't need a peanut butter intervention. He's okay. It's 3 in the morning. He's got his arm in the peanut butter jar. It looks like he's trying to help with a delivery. But no, that's not what I see. I just want to make that last peanut butter and jelly sandwich because it's important to me. You know? So Kim wants me to do a whole other show. DJ Trick says, my picture is so dorky now. Hello. So if you want to see a good dorky picture of DJ Tricks, and I'll give you a temporary pass. Because eventually you'll join the rest of the world, and you'll get a Facebook page, and then you'll be able to post your dorky picture on my Facebook page. But for now, I'll give you a temporary pass, so you can actually go to her Spreaker page, and you can check out the pic. Holly says, my throat hurts. I can't do a talk show tonight. You know, Holly, a true broadcaster would go ahead and do a show. I'm just throwing that out there. DJ says, I'm going to do an all music on my show, maybe. Kim says, kinky, Chris uses his whole arm. So I should read this stuff before I just blurt it out. We've got DJ Tricks. See, I thought DJ Tricks was a different person because she changed her picture. And she says that sounds like something that she would do. So I'm glad we're all in agreement that I'm not crazy. And what about, is grape jelly the best jelly or not? See, if anybody says apple, I'm going to be upset. I mean, if I had to choose a second favorite flavor, I would choose apple. But if you're going to say strawberry, you're nuts. Because have you ever mixed the strawberry with the peanut butter? It's just not that good. It's just not good. So don't do it. Don't ever give me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with strawberry on it. I'll be offended. I really will. All right, we'll talk about one more thing, and then I've got to go, just because I want to kind of sit back and relax a little bit. I had the day off, you know, and I want to kind of just sit back, relax, and enjoy my last few moments of freedom. And I may do a show tomorrow, not sure yet. I don't have to work too late tomorrow, so there's a possibility that I'll be on. Well, see, I'm wanting to get on as much as I can, because if you haven't heard the news, Spreaker has just merged with iHeartRadio, and this is a big, big deal. Very big deal. I've got my application in. It's pending. So if I can get into iHeartRadio, then they've only got like 100 podcasts on there as of now. And that includes people like Ryan Seacrest, Rush Limbaugh, people like that. So, I mean, that could give me some serious exposure. So I really, really want to get in there. And it's still pending, and it's driving me nuts. It's driving me totally insane. So I just want to know. Just tell me one way or another, iHeartRadio. Are you ready for the Chris Top program, or are you not? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Please don't. No, I take that back. Okay. So what goes with NASCAR? So if you're a NASCAR fan, I'm sure you just said beer. But what you may have been thinking is, well, marijuana does too. I just don't tell anybody. Well, beer and NASCAR, they go together like hot dogs and buns. But what about weed and NASCAR? Maybe. Now, that's apparently the suggestion that'll be put forth on this enormous video screen this weekend, just outside the NASCAR Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis. And that's home to the Indy 500. Now, the Marijuana Policy Project has bought the ad space to run a video repeatedly during the race, and an ad in the style of a beer commercial stating that marijuana has no calories, no hangovers, and isn't linked to violence or reckless behavior. Now, this is the very first time a pro-marijuana legalization message has run in such close proximity to the entrance of a major sports event. Now, it's not on the track property, and NASCAR isn't tied to the marijuana organization. Like, could you imagine? I mean, if they ever do just totally legalize marijuana, they're going to be able to put stuff like that out all the time. These alcohol people are going to be scared to death. So I think that's really interesting. And you know, I don't smoke pot, but I mean, if it was legal, I would probably rather do that than drink. I'm not a drinker. I can't hold my liquor. I really can't, and I'm not going to get into any gross details because you don't want to hear it. Trust me, you really, really don't want to hear it. Now, this guy must have been high, because he must have been high for a long, long time. Remember Milli Vanilli? See, I laugh when I think of them because they had everybody fooled. Well, there's an obnoxious man who I guess is still in love with Milli Vanilli, and of course Elton John. They cost him almost $2,800, and he basically drove his neighbors nuts. Now, his name's Jamie Smith. He spent 2 years. 2 years he did this. Could you imagine waking up every day for 2 years to Milli Vanilli? Could you imagine that? I mean, back-to-back spins of Candle in the Wind, all night long, up to 18 hours a day. Despite complaints. I mean, screw complaints. I mean, I'm thinking the guy should have got death threats. I mean, he even got a visit from the environmental health officers. And for some reason, the guy refused to cease and desist. Maybe he just shrugged it off, and when they came and told him to stop, he just calmly said, "Why don't you just blame it on the rain?" So Smith was finally hauled to court, and he was given a 4-figure fine. He was not sentenced to any jail time. I mean, I'm thinking if you're a Milli Vanilli fan, I'm thinking you don't need jail time. I'm thinking that's probably bad enough, is what I'm thinking. I'm just saying. I would like to welcome Pam to the chat. Pam, it's good to see you. I was about to actually wrap things up. But nevertheless, it's good to see you. And I appreciate you stopping by. You can always go back and listen to the podcast. And that's what many lonely people do. They'll sit at home late at night and they'll just listen to the podcast over and over again. And I'm hoping eventually somebody will get a fine for playing back-to-back Chris Top program over and over again. You know, I'm surprised I haven't got that yet from my neighbors. Because they've got to hear me broadcasting, and they got to think, wow, this guy has his radio on way too loud. All the time. They've got to think I'm weird. It's like, okay, this guy, sometimes he comes home at 3 a.m, and he'll just talk to himself all night long. He talks to himself like there's other people in the room. This guy's psychotic. So I'm surprised that nobody's come to my door yet. I'm losing my voice, and I don't have any Mountain Dew left, so I guess I'm going to have to drink this water. So anyway, I guess that's a good indication that I probably need to go ahead and just end the show. But once again, thank you guys so much for listening. You guys are you're great. You really, really are. And I'm hoping I'll be back tomorrow. No guarantees on tomorrow. But hopefully I'll be back. And yes, you were mentioned earlier, Kim. So you're going to have to go back and listen to the whole thing for sure. Because I'm not going to tell you exactly what time I mentioned you, even though I remember what time I mentioned you. And DJ Tricks, it was nice having you in the chat, and I hope you make us a regular stop in your Spreaker life. I hope to see you again. So until I broadcast again, please remember this. Life is good, and I'm gone.
I sense a disturbance in the Force. The dork side is strong in this one.
Did you hear that? This is madness. We're doomed.
Yoda, I don't think I can go back to Spreaker.
Always with you, it cannot be done.
Well, no, I think I could do it. I just don't know if I'm ready.
You do nothing that I say.
Wait, what? Can you just not talk Yoda for a minute?
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Okay, dude, you totally don't make any sense. If I unlearn what I've learned, there's no way I can do it. Okay, never mind, I'll try.
No.
You don't want me to try?
Why not? Do or do not. There is no try.
You are such a motivational speaker. You really are.
I do believe they think I am some sort of god.
You can either talk in the Chris Top